This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the sports betting network. Mitch Moss, Paulie Howard, live with you in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Finally, Paulie, we made it to the big game. It's here. And by big game, I mean all of them in college football beginning, well, in about 90 minutes. We have great guests on the program throughout the 3-hour show today. And in 90 minutes, we do get kickoff here in South Florida between the Bulls and the Boise State Broncos, Paulie. And that's where, obviously, we begin this game today. The game opened up 10, for those of you who don't know. I'm sure most of you do. It has been bet down now over the weeks. And as it continues to go down in the favor of South Florida, I mean, even when it got to 6.5, below 7, I'm like, man, is that too big of a move? Then it goes to 6. Yesterday on the show, it was almost 5.5 everywhere with a 5 out there. Well, the money keeps coming on South Florida. Here at Circa, Boise State is currently a 5-point favorite. There are 5s out there when you look offshore. Other books are showing 5.5. Some of the exchanges out there, like Novig, 4.5 right now on the game. When will it stop before kickoff?
Well, I'll tell you, they knew what they were doing, though. You're talking about with the heat index, you're looking at 100 degrees. So this afternoon start and how it's going to be in Tampa with the weather. But as Adam Burke wrote today, VSiN.com, this is an enormous game. You know, number one, South Florida, see what kind of season they can have. And Golish does an incredible job taking over a program that was 1-11. He goes 7-6 and 7-6. How about this to start? Boise State, then Florida, then Miami. That's how the Bulls start the season. And they also go to Memphis later in the season as well. But Boise is plus 180 to make the playoff at DraftKings. If they lose this game, is there like a 14, 15-point dog at Notre Dame? There's no room for error. You're not going to get in with 3 losses.
No, you have to run the table at that point, other than the Notre Dame game.
So, and then fans of the little guy watching this, that it might have a good team, a James Madison, a Memphis, someone like that. Yeah. Your next choice then is Tulane at 8-1 with the second best odds. So, as bad as the Mountain West looked to start in week 0, and if Boise State stubs their toe today, it really opens things up for a team to make the playoff. And Boise, but I believe in the program. I played louder over 47.5 receiving yards. I love the tight end. I like Madsen, the quarterback. And now the big question is the running back by committee, and they lose an all-time great who had one of the best seasons ever for a running back in the history of college football.
Yeah, so what does that mean for tonight's game, right? Because when you wipe away 2,600 rushing yards and 29 touchdowns, that's not going to be replaced. But what if, like the committee that they have in the backfield to take over for Ashton Jeanty can combine for 1,800 yards this year and 15 touchdowns? They would take that, I'm guessing. But more than that, I'm curious, like overall, they averaged 6.7 yards per play last year. Where does that number go in 2025? Also on third down, Boise State was awesome. They picked him up 49.5% of the time.
Great on third down sacks, yes.
Yeah, they had 55 sacks last year, which was really, really good. Defensively, South Florida, they allowed only 34.2% of third downs to be picked up, and time of possession like last year. So South Florida runs an offense called the veer and shoot. That's kind of like what Art Briles did at Baylor, and they only averaged 25 minutes time of possession last year per game. And with that in mind, what do we make of the total here tonight at 61.5 with the heat, with the humidity? And I can't get that game at Georgia Southern out of my head last year. Again,
that's a good point.
Conditions were similar, and you couldn't get a stop if you paid for it last year.
Yeah. Well, I'm not so much the conditions, although you might be right. It's what happened in the first 2 games. The defense was good, but they got off to a terrible start. The Georgia Southern game and then the game after that. So you give up more than 30 points. Or excuse me, you give up 80 points in your first 2 games, and then you shut everyone down the rest of the way. So 5 of your top 10 players are back on defense, but that's the case for South Florida. Brown is too good, the quarterback. He goes over his rushing yards. They can't contain him. maybe you force a turnover. You adjust to a life after Genty, and the heat and humidity wears them out in the fourth quarter. And that takes a while to get things right on the defensive side of the ball for Boise State. That's your case for the Bulls.
Sure, and if South Florida can jump on them early, and again, this money that just keeps coming in, man, people love this team in the game. So let's assume South Florida gets out to the early lead. That tells me that Boise's going to start pressing, and they're going to probably throw the ball more than they anticipated maybe coming into the game, and they might have to anyway, because if the backs are not going to be there to replace Genty, and again, you can't really use that word because you can't expect that to happen. But if they have to throw the ball maybe a little bit more tonight, I think 61.5 might be a little bit of a low total. And these, and if South Florida is going to be running that fast of an offense, how many players are going to get gassed defensively here for Boise State? And then maybe if you flip it over to South Florida as well. But at some point here, if this keeps going down to where, does it touch 4?
I would know. I don't know. That can't happen.
Hard Rock just moved to 4.5 right now.
But what are people doing? Game's been up for months. I don't get it.
There has to be buyback on Boise at some point.
I know people want action, but this is, you could have grabbed 9.5 all summer, and now you want to come in late.
All right.
So, huge game, though. Huge game.
Yeah, and we'll talk about it. We'll keep you updated, by the way, after it kicks off on the live betting numbers and go through the game as well.
Yeah, good game to bet in play. You're right.
Okay, so you also have a bet in the East Carolina-North Carolina State game, which the Wolfpack opened up 12.5. Got to 14. Actually, I think it got a little bit higher than that. Now 14, and the total here is 61.5. They played last year in the Military Bowl.
It's a brawl.
Yeah, 26-21 was the score. The Pirates got them. On-field brawl like you talked about. There was a really good write-up today from Ryan McGee at ESPN.com. He's from the area, and he did a good job explaining, like, nobody gets it, but this rivalry is awesome. And these players really don't like each other, and the fans kind of don't like each other as well. 43% of the production is back at ECU. That's 103rd nationally. NC State has 61% of their production back. What do you like here?
I took NC State 13.5. I just think that I changed my mind on this game. The revenge for what happened. Graham Harrell did a great job. They closed 5-1 last year and won 8 games, but they only returned 6 starters. I think NC State will be too much. They just don't have anything defensively. I think NC State will do what they want, and Bailey will have a big game through the air against East Carolina's defense. And I think you're talking about maybe 37, 38 points for NC State, and that should be enough, although I like Hauser, the quarterback for East Carolina. But that's going to be the big theme on this show today, on some of the games we talk about. Just a lot of teams lose several players.
Oh, sure.
Especially Dessa. I mean, we'll talk about a team coming up. They return one guy on the defensive side of the offensive side of the ball. Mm-hmm. So I just think NC State will do what they want offensively, and a little bit of revenge for what happened in the bowl game and get the win and cover.
Well, I'll tell you this, and I brought it up earlier in the week. I'm treading lightly with the bets that I'm going to have. They're not going to be normal size bets for the college football season. I don't know what these teams are going to look like for the most part. Pretty much nobody does, right? And again, I'm a little panicked after watching Farmageddon, and the kid for K-State makes the decision to field the punt at the 8-yard line when 2 guys are coming at him like a heat-seeking missile. Terrible decision. And then the opening kickoff return for Hawaii. What the hell was that? So, I'm going to tread a little bit lightly with these games. I'll tell you, there is an angle tonight, though, with the Central Arkansas-Missouri game. Missouri laying 36.5, 37 in that neighborhood, total about 51.5 or so. Missouri's got 58% of their production back. Now, they play their first 6 games at home. The first roadie comes in the middle of October. Now this game's all the way up to 38.5 here at Circa. Longtime quarterback Brady Cook is gone, as is all-world wide receiver Luther Burden. Both quarterbacks are playing for Mizzou. Jobs are on the line here. So the idea of head coach Eli Drinkwitz keeping the foot on the gas kind of makes sense for the entire game. There's also this. Missouri has averaged almost 59 points per game in their last 8 games versus FCS teams. And you have to love some of these quotes from the Mizzou head coach when he said this week, quote, "I think both quarterbacks have done an excellent job of doing things that we've asked them to do. There wasn't enough separation that I felt like there's a clear-cut starter, and so the next best evaluation is in a live football game to see how these guys respond, not only to prep in a game plan, but also to a crowd, and also respond to being tackled and being hit." And he was asked about, maybe rotating guys in a different manner, and he said, "I've done that before when you alternate every 2 series or each quarter, and I did not like the feel for that. We did it in 2023 where we played both halves, and I felt like it gave our offense a chance to get some rhythm, and it gave our quarterbacks a chance to be evaluated. So their team total is 45.5 here in the game tonight. You also have to lay about 21.5 in the first half. I just think they're going to come out guns a-blazing for all 60 minutes, and maybe this total, now all the way up to 53.5, is a little bit, let's move, but...
Good move, big move on Oklahoma State, too, in an added game as well that goes off. So, and we also got a game in an hour, 2 hours with Ohio and Rutgers as well. That's I talked to Richie Bachelari before the show. He's getting coffee. He makes the game 10. Where's it going to stop on this game? Nothing but Rutgers money.
He makes the game 10.
He made it 10.
What did you bet?
I took Rutgers because Ohio loses everyone on defense and they lose their coach, and Shiano's been great non-conference at Rutgers. So I think they come out and jump on them early. But
he made it 10.
Yeah.
Wow.
He doesn't get the move at all.
I'll go,
He's baffled by it.
It's one game, but remember, Richie made Farmageddon, Iowa State -1. And he said on the air with us, he's not allowed to bet at Circa. Circa was the only book showing 4, but he goes, if I can find a 4 out there, I'm absolutely taking the Cyclones.
Yeah. If you can find Finn, can't find it, the Miami-Ohio quarterback rushing yards prop. Wisconsin had issues against scrambling quarterbacks. I think this kid will take off and go. It's a good one. It's what, 7th year? 7th year quarterback? Been all over the place.
Not quite enough. Need some more time.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But a lot of people go to college for 8 years, right? Call doctors. But if you can find a Finn rushing prop, I think that's good.
A lot of hype for this former Blue Blood again this year, but their opponent is no cupcake. We'll talk about it coming up next.
Stay ahead of the game? Look no further than VSiN's YouTube page. Find expert analysis, game previews, and best bets from all of our shows. No matter what sport you're looking to bet on, follow @VSiN Live on YouTube for everything you need.
So, Paulie, have you had a chance to read the VSiN Daily yet?
Yeah. Came in at 3 a.m. What's Bill doing up that late?
Well, rumor has it, it starts off with a 12-hour meditation session.
Then he just pours himself over film and live TV, really focusing and taking it all in. Bill's in with the biggest insiders, talking trade secrets, strategies, the whole nine, absorbing the info.
And then and only then can the writing process begin.
In Las Vegas, Bill's late night becomes your early morning. Wake up to the very latest betting insights in your inbox with the VSiN Daily. Sign up for free at vsin.com/newsletter.
On the next edition of Prop Points, we will start off the show with the latest news and notes going around the National Football League. We're now less than 7 days away from the NFL season kicking off, so it's time to get you ready for your upcoming fantasy football drafts. And this week, we've covered my favorite fantasy targets and props for quarterbacks, running backs, and wide receivers, and we'll close out the week with some of my favorite fantasy targets and props for the tight ends. I'm John Hansen. Tune in to Friday's edition of Prop Points at 1 p.m. Eastern, only on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Fun game tonight on a neutral at Arrowhead as Nebraska takes on Cincinnati. Is this the year, Paulie, that the Cornhuskers finally pop and they go over their win total? 7-4-2 ATS last year, 7-6 overall. They won the Pinstripe Bowl. They averaged 23.5 points per game on offense, gave up fewer than 20 points overall. And, Dylan Raiola came into this program with a ton of hype as well. Could not throw for 3,000 yards last year, 13 touchdowns, 11 INTs.
I couldn't believe it last night when I'm looking at the stats. This guy had all the hype and the Mahomes stuff, and watch out for this kid. 13 touchdowns?
5 stars. Which program's going to get him?
Well, come on. It's like Major League. Runs like Mays, hits like Bleep. Right? I mean, okay, well, he's supposed to play like Mahomes. He looks like Mahomes. That's it. Then they celebrated like they won the Super Bowl when they won the bowl game. So I trust Rule, though, and again, when you look back at every stop he's made, it's usually a big improvement in this year. Turns it around immediately, but then I'll go from 1 win to maybe 4, then I'll go to 7, then I'll have my big year in year 3, and I think Nebraska gets it done, and I'll trust the defense here. But I'm not so sure about the offense, though. And I know Cincinnati only won 5 games, but they had some tough losses along the way as well. So, like we've said, many guests have said this week that it's going to be a ton of Nebraska fans, but I'd say Nebraska are past tonight.
With the points?
Lay with Nebraska.
Minus 6.5? Yeah. So Cincinnati had a problem with the explosive plays on offense last year, and Sutterfield brought in some guys that are supposed to help with that. And also they do have a good quarterback returning in Brendan Sorsby. He threw for 2,800 plus yards a year ago, 18-7 TD-INT ratio, also 445 on the ground and 9 touchdowns. So he is a dual threat guy who can get the job done in the air and on the ground. Their leading rusher is gone, as are last year's top 4 wide receivers. But again, in the portal, they did a pretty good job. Nebraska's secondary is expected to be absolutely loaded. In the front 6, they lost every starter, but key transfers from OU, Missouri, Georgia Southern need to contribute pretty much immediately. Adam Burke, who's going to be on the show a little bit later on, was making a case at VSiN.com on the Bearcats plus the points, expecting that program to be on the uptick a little bit more this year as well. I think this is going to be a pass for me. So at 52, by the way, is a total. I would maybe look at playing the under, but the point spread, I don't think I'm going to get involved.
Yep.
All right, Miami takes on Wisconsin.
Here we go.
A handful of, some Big Ten teams in action tonight, and this is one of them certainly. Wisconsin laying 17.5, low total, low 40s where it's at. The Badgers' total disappointment so far under Fickell. They missed a bowl game last year. They lost their last 5 games of their regular season. First year they missed a bowl game since 2001. Miami made a bowl game in the last 5 non-COVID seasons overall, longest stretch in school history. What are you doing here?
Here's what I was talking about, though. This should be an under, and this should be an ugly game. So Miami only returns 1 starter on offense. I mentioned Finn, the journeyman quarterback in year 7. But here's Fickell, first 2 games, first game to start the last 2 years in his tenure at Wisconsin. 10-7 halftime against Western Michigan, 14-10 against Buffalo. If you play the game and you want the dog, take it first half. Because you got a new quarterback, a new OC, and Miami's got a good defense. They gave up 18 points per game last year. They do return 5 starters on that side of the ball. But I just think it's going to be kind of an ugly game, low scoring, and I think the dog can hang around. And I think, and again, as I said 5 minutes ago, you look at the mobile quarterbacks who would take off and use their legs. That gave Wisconsin a problem last year, and that's what this kid can do. And I like that he's a veteran and just take off and run when the play breaks down. And I think they can hang in this game, absolutely. And based on his track record, he gets off to a slow start, and he's been a giant disappointment in Madtown.
Yeah, we'll see here, again, with only 1 starter back on offense for Miami. And think about this for a second. The projected starting offensive line does not have a single player who has been a full-time starter, and I believe they have combined to make 3 starts overall.
Yeah.
That's the Miami offensive line.
Yeah.
So if Wisconsin is any good at all this year, going to be a threat down the road, I'm talking, their defense should have their way tonight with this team and that offensive line. I'm trying to find rushing props for Wisconsin, and it comes down to Dylan Jones and also Dupree in the backfield. And I saw Dupree's rushing yard prop tonight is about 40 in the low to mid-40s, and Jones was around 74 or 75.5. But the problem is, every quote And like every interview that I read from either Fickle or the offensive coordinator, they basically said it's going to be running back by committee, and there could be like 3 guys overall.
Okay.
So
See, that's a problem, I think, with Boise State props, too. With how many guys are going to get the carries as well. Yeah.
I would say if you're going to watch the game tonight, keep an eye, though, on Dylan Jones. He's supposed to be maybe the next great back that goes to Wisconsin, and he could eventually be like the main guy this year. I really want to fire on him, but Dupree's also really good. Jones is a 4-star kid. And if they go hot hand, maybe if he's hot right away in this game, they continue to do that, but I also think they want to kind of work as many guys in here as possible.
Yeah. You're also involved in another 4 o'clock Pacific start. I think the move on Central Florida is correct. Jack, what a job. This is unbelievable what Rich Rod did last year. In the second year of being FBS, he won Conference USA. So then he leaves Jacksonville State, goes to West Virginia. They average 36 points per game. Now the Auburn defensive coordinator takes over. They lose their top 2 running backs, and they had all kinds of issues against the run. Hello, Scott Frost coming in, want to make a great impression as he takes over, and I think this one could get out of hand with Central Florida taking on Jacksonville State, line up to 20.5.
Yeah. Burke, who's coming on a little bit later on, said earlier in the week, anything below 21, he really, really likes it. And I think it might touch 21 here before kickoff coming up in less than 3 hours now, right? I mean, like, nobody's back for Jack State. And I think that the angle here, it's all narrative, but I mean, it's Scott Frost did this to a lot of teams when he was at Central Florida. He couldn't do it at Nebraska, but different tier of program there and different opponents. But when he was at Central Florida, they would be killing these teams a lot, and the games would be over with like in the first quarter or early third quarter. So I think I'm going to spread out like a unit tonight and put Central Florida first half and also for the game, expecting kind of a massacre here. Burke completely won me over with the analysis and digging into this game.
Yep. Could be a good first quarter. You get 6.5 first quarter. You could do that too. Jump on them right away.
Okay. Here's another one, by the way, that Burke and also Steve Mackinnon at VSiN.com. And the write-ups, by the way, in the website, as always, throughout the entire year, but football season, extraordinary, right? They were both making the case, and they could not fight off this money that's coming in on Akron.
Can't believe this.
No, I can't.
This will not stop. One of the worst programs going back for years. It's nothing but Akron money.
Absolutely. So Wyoming opened up 9.5. It's down to, 5.5 right now?
Yeah.
And as Mackinnon wrote, what exactly has Wyoming done since last year to think they should be this big of a favorite? He points out they absolutely stunk. They were 3-9. They scored 19 points per game. They got 9 starters back on offense, but he said that might not be a good thing. And so
that's a great point. If you suck, and then, but we returned 10 starters, that's okay. Well,
why is that a good thing?
That's maybe not a positive.
Yeah, sure. And he posed the question, but what about Akron? Mm-hmm. And he pointed out, do not confuse this team with Kent State. He actually thinks there's some reason for optimism. Joe Moorhead, they were 4-8 last year after 7-47 in the prior 5 seasons. And also Adam Burke, who is from the state and has done, he focuses on smaller conferences. You'll realize that when you read him at VSiN.com. And so he's been betting the MAC for a long time. He knows Akron really, really well. And he pointed out, they have been a disaster for many, many years going back. But if you're going to tell me that this is all sharp money coming in to move this number down from 9.5 to 5.5, he goes, why would I say that the sharp money would be wrong? What did they see? What did the sharp bettors see in Akron to actually make them move it from 9.5 to 5.5? He goes, I'm not going to fight that. I'm not going to resist that. Why would you, right? There's something here, Paulie, where the line was just completely out of control. But sometimes it takes onions to fire on a really, really bad team, and that's what the market has been doing here to get the number where it's at.
Yeah, it's a hold your nose game. But this is, they had a bad year, but it's been a good program. Certainly you go back with what they did what Bull did, put Wentz in the NFL and Josh Allen, right? And the guy was a winner, but 7-6, 7-6, 9-4 till last year's debacle, and the Zips have been a disaster. 2-10, 2-10, 2-10. And then 4-8. So it's also, they made the case, too, about trusting Joe Moorhead, who's in his 4th year as well. But they don't return anything either. So that's an interesting move to monitor and see if it gets there. But that's a hold-your-nose game for that one. Our betting guide is updated and ready for Week 1 inside the NFL Betting Guide 2.0. Post-preseason team updates, proven betting systems. Mackinnon did a great job. Contest strategies. I love the part about Survivor. And everyone's updated best bets and more futures and win totals as well and beyond. Get access to this and the college football betting guide as little as $9.99 for your first 30 days. Head to VSiN.com/subscribe. See what works for you. VSiN.com/subscribe. Go get it.
Pizzeria coming up a little bit later on in the program as well. You can also email the show, ftm@vsin.com. ftm@vsin.com if you want your pizza bets, like cross-port parlays, that kind of thing that would pay off with some pretty nice paydays. That's coming up a little bit later on. Up next, sports bettor Mike Montesano is going to join the program. He has a sharp eye for betting futures and awards. He added an Offensive Rookie of the Year bet this week and has a unique approach with some college football markets. He'll share them with you coming up next.
There's no better time to join VSiN Pro. Right now, get started for just $9.99 for your first 30 days, or save 50% off with an annual subscription. As a Pro user, you'll get our newly updated NFL betting guide, as well as the college football betting guide, the ultimate playbook packed with expert picks, team previews, and best bets. Plus, you'll unlock exclusive features like real-time betting splits, daily best bets, and full access to the VSiN Watch app. Don't miss out. Head to VSiN.com/subscribe and join us on the Sports Betting Network. Get your edge this season with VSiN's College Football Betting Guide, exclusive to VSiN Pro subscribers. It's packed with 136 team previews, preseason top 25 rankings, and best bets from our experts. Pro subscribers also get the NFL Betting Guide, daily best bet emails, exclusive splits, and full access to our premium betting tools. Sign up now at VSiN.com/subscribe for just $9.99 for your first 30 days. Or save 50% with an annual Pro subscription and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Thanks for checking in here on a Thursday. We're live in Vegas, Circa Resort and Casino. Thanks for watching on YouTube TV, for listening on Sirius XM Channel 158, or any of the terrestrial radio stations that you can find VSiN across the country. Now we'll talk some futures in college football, sneak in a little NFL as well, as Mike Montesano joins the program. You can follow him on X at Bets and Reps. For those of you watching the show, he doesn't miss Bicep Day.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
And I don't even like Bicep Day. It's not my favorite. Actually, Shoulder Day is the best day for me.
How do you like Leg Day?
I don't skip it, but I don't quite push myself like I did about 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah. Do the curls for the girls.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
All right, so you found a unique way to bet some college football markets this year with futures, and I glanced at these like a month or so ago. Yep. I never took it too seriously, but the numbers that you got on some of these teams, I'm going to have to revisit this. What did you do here?
So I took an angle of just to make the conference championship game. I did take a few of them. The first one in the SEC, I did take Oklahoma, 16-1. If you look at last year, their defense was rock solid. Their offense was absolutely abysmal. So they made adjustments in the portal. They brought John Mateer in from Washington State, who's I think he's an NFL style quarterback. They brought and also brought over his offensive coordinator. They had, I think they were down to like their fifth or sixth string wide receivers last year. So this is a play that if their offense can get to average or above average, which I think it will, but the defense has to stay lights out, and they have all the talent. If you look at they're very talented this year on both sides of the ball. Schedule is tough, but manageable. 16-1 just to make it. Took a shot.
Very good.
They have been a popular team in the offseason.
Yeah.
I'm high on them. I think they could have a big year. I hope you're right. I hope you're right on this one, too. SMU. Everyone's forgetting about SMU.
They all forget SMU. They still have a lot of talent. They have a lot of continuity on offense, and their schedule is manageable.
Yes.
There are two tough games at home. They have Miami and Louisville at home. They have Clemson on the road, so we'll give that a loss. But no one's talking about them. They do have a lot of NIL money. They have a lot of backing from alumni and donors, and they're going to keep that program up. They're not. They went to they were a couple of minutes away from beating Clemson last year. I think they get to the title game this year, and at 5-1, it's worth a shot. I have them favored by 9.3 points per game in conference play, and that included downgrading them a little bit from last year.
Okay. Paul, have you bet SMU at all, any which way?
Yeah, 9-1 to win the league.
To win
950.
Okay.
Yeah, that's better. I think there's 10 out there, 9 in that range to win the league. Yeah, I'm surprised by that.
Here's another team that you got. They're in action tonight. They take on Minnesota. They've been a popular bet, I think, in the market this week. It's Buffalo. I actually, in the college football betting guide here at VSiN, I picked this team to win their conference, and you want to make them, you want to bet them to make the conference title game again here.
Yeah, to make the conference title game, if you want to throw a sprinkle on them to win it, Toledo's really good. I mean, they're really, really good. But Buffalo, I have them rated. I have them rated second in roster strength. I have them rated third in my power rating, slightly behind Ohio. In conference play, I have them favored by 10.2 points per game. And Ohio is slightly better at 11.9. It's really it might come down to that final game of the year, but they have Ohio at home. And I just like what their coaching staff is doing. And they're second in the conference in returning production. So just to get there, 2-1, if you want to throw a sprinkle, I think they were plus 425 to win it.
Yeah, right around that number.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So,
any regrets on firing UNLV 2-1 to make the Mountain West title
when I
game?
sent the text yesterday, I mean, I made that bet back in July. Again, this is the conference play, so maybe they need some non-conference games to get up to par for what their talent is. They lost a lot of players, but they brought in a lot of highly rated players. So will they mesh? Well, hopefully they can mesh by conference play. And I think the Mountain West Conference is completely down this year, besides Boise. I mean, San Jose State's really good, but other than that, we saw Fresno. They were terrible.
Absolutely.
And Hawaii didn't really do anything for me last week as well. So They don't play each other. But just to get with that talent, maybe they can mold. And I actually like Dan Mullins. If you go look at his career record, he didn't end up too well, at Florida, but his overall career record's good. And I think he's motivated, and I think he's got a lot of energy now coming back.
All right. Mike Montesano, our guest, Circa Contest winner. Follow the money, Paulie and Mitch VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. I'm picking up what you're putting down. NFL, Scatterboo. Yeah. Offensive Rookie of the Year. I got a source high up with the Giants who's at practice every day. This kid's the talk at camp. Tough to bring down. Physical running back. Could get touchdowns, goal line, everything. You bet this here 87-1.
I bet it yesterday. Good. I was listening to you guys, but I also was doing some research, listening to. Sometimes the best research is listening to your fanatical friends.
Yeah.
And from Giants, Bills, where I'm in New York, and they were confirming for what you were saying that he's the real deal. 87-1. I had to take a shot. I looked around other places. I saw 50. I saw 40. At some books, so I'm here at Circa right now. So why not take a shot? I think that number went bye after.
After you bet it?
Good job, Mike. When my friend asked the source, "Hey, how does Dart look?" and he just skips over him and goes to Scatterboo.
Yeah,
that's all I need to know about what he's doing. I can't. What do you think here? I'm against you. Tampa Bay under 9.5.
Yeah,
what's the case here?
It's really just it's a numbers play for me. I have Tampa Bay below market. And, looking at some of the other projection sites out there on top of my ratings, they kind of agree with me. I mean, they lose their offensive coordinator. Mm-hmm. I'm not the biggest Todd Bowles fan. And, he throws a lot of turnover-worthy throws, Mr. Baker Mayfield. So I know he's gotten a lot better. But they have basically 9 coin flip games this year. In coin flips in the NFL, we've all seen it. It all comes down to the end. And they got some tough non-division road games. Houston, Seattle, Buffalo, Rams. And, they have to go to Miami as well. I'm taking a shot. And the market's I think they're minus 115. So they're not a heavy favorite to go over. So I went under with that. I know a lot of people like Tampa, but I went a different route with that.
That's the kind of team that when you're like that and you have a feeling on them, then you don't want to play them probably in Survivor.
Yeah.
And you actually might, in a certain spot, want to look to play against them, potentially.
Correct. Absolutely.
You're high on Arizona?
I am high on Arizona. I have an efficiency rating model that I use, and it has to deal with points per play, yards per play, turnover margin, and it's a formula. And I had them 5th in my efficiency ratings last year, not my overall power ratings. They went 8 and 9 last year. They upgraded the defense tremendously, and from all indications, everyone loves Jonathan Gannon for Coach of the Year. So if he's going to be in Coach of the Year consideration, they're going to go over that 8.5 wins. Manageable schedule, and I just like what they're doing there. I think Kyler's kind of got his head on his shoulders this year. I think he's going to run a little bit more, and I'm hoping for bigger production from Marvin Harrison
There you
Jr.
go.
I think you're going to get that.
Yeah, you better. You better. I hope this happens. Alts on the Chiefs.
Yeah, last year we all know they didn't play to their 15-win season. So, but are they going to regress to lose? To under 10.5 in the alt-win market? I think it'll be close. I'm not a big fan of how they performed last year, but they somehow always get it done. There's, look at the Patriots of old. We always used to bet against the Belichick and Brady. Oh, this is the week. Do they have that magic? They sure they do. But they finished 13th in my efficiency ratings last year. They have the 6th toughest schedule. Their schedule is really tough in the first half of the year. Just go to the division. Denver's improved. Chargers are not bad. Raiders are improved. No Rashee Rice for, I think, 6 games. Yep. So if I'm going under, I'm going to go all under because I got plus 150. And I know a lot. Everyone, all the Chiefs love. So I'm going against it.
All right. I'm for it.
Paul hates him, so he wants that to come in.
Yeah.
Do you have any bets tonight in college football?
Yeah, I was just listening to you guys. I did take Wyoming minus 5.5. I'm sure it's sharp money. I just caution everyone out there in the first week, all these moves that are going on with the transfer portal and everything, cut your bet size down to at least half a unit. Let's get some data points on these teams. I know it's a long time coming where we want to go. We want to rock and roll. I don't agree with the move just on the fact that I have Akron as one of the worst teams. They're one of the 5 or 6 worst teams in college football.
It's down to 4.5 now at Circa.
Yeah, I would,
What is going on?
Maybe someone knows something that we all don't know, but I've seen this over the last couple of years. Lines will move, and then.
How about preseason football in the NFL?
Exactly.
The CLV was horrible this year, the results.
Horrible.
You can follow Mike on X. He is at Bets and Reps. That was awesome, man. Thanks for the time.
Thank you for having me.
Good luck this year. Paulie recaps the betting action from last night. Win some, lose some. Coming up next.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim. It's the only thing like it in the world.
Check out Stormy and JVT on Money Moves, only on VSiN.
And maybe that's why they wouldn't, because they're the Giants and they don't do things that make sense.
Out of all these divisions, this is the one that I am the most curious about because I do think there are positive signs for the Bears.
They'll take you on a fun, fast-paced journey, weaving in everything you need to know to make an educated bet, while also not shying away from the excitement of a same-game parlay sweat. Money Moves, weekdays at 2 p.m. Eastern on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Win Some, Lose Some is sponsored by the Sharp Plays.
Were you a winner last night?
Wow, winning.
Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser!
Paulie Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
The menus are so good. There's so much to bet. Like last night, Major League Baseball at DraftKings. Will a team score 15-plus runs? Texas gets 20. Will there be 22-plus runs in a game? Yeah. Plus 650. Some of these big tickets came in a 20-3 final. That was bananas in what Texas did in the bottom of the seventh.
You know, Scott Seinberg was following us last night, and that was one of his bets that he gave out, right, I think as soon as the show started. He liked a team total over for Texas.
Oh, wow. Good call.
Good call out of him.
Damn right. Mets, 10 in a row at home against the Phillies. Shut them out. Mets get out the broom on Philadelphia. The Red Sox get the win. They swept the Orioles. What a pitching performance, the entire series by Boston. They won. Crochet did not get the win, though. No decision. Triple Crown's in play here. He now leads in strikeouts. He's tied in wins, and he's got a 2.38, I think, and Scooble's got a 2.28. So this is juicy.
Going to come down to the wire. Also, how did your Twins blow that game yesterday against Toronto? I'm asking because I have a Red Sox future ticket to win the division, tied into the Rams to win the NFC West from like back in March.
That's baseball, Susan.
Ugh.
After they blew it the other day, they come back. Yep. Okay. Suns plus 2.5 to -4. That's good. Aces, they do it again. 15-0 run in the third quarter.
Asia. Awesome yet
30,
again.
Yeah, 34, I believe. 12 wins in a row for the Aces. What a performance. Man, this is going to be tricky.
What's the analogy here? St. Louis Blues 2019? Colorado Rockies 2007?
No. No, because it's just one player dominating, I think.
Well, but I mean, they're super hot. They were dead. They were dead.
Well,
People were saying they might miss the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens in the playoffs. The Rocky thing isn't bad. They were out of it till September. Right. Grimsby Town, this happened while we're on the air. Fourth tier. Draw against Man U plus 850. They won on PKs. 10-1 to advance. Subscribe. Be part of the team. VSiN.com. Our radio and podcast friends. You always want to see these tweets and videos. At Paulie Does Vegas on Instagram. Send them in. We'll put you on. It's been too long. We haven't. There's been some good jackpots out there. I had dinner at the Westgate last weekend. Someone hit the Wheel of Fortune for $1.2 million. Huh?
Okay.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
In the corner. Put $100 in the corner. Playing for like 5 minutes. Bam, $1.2 million. That's the second time that's happened to me, where I'm just walking by. Well, what the hell happened here? Why there's security? Incredible. Look at this. This was at Bet Rivers. That super dice game, hot roll. Aces and a kicker. $70,000 five-play. 7 times on each one. Oh, what a feeling. We got a doozy tomorrow, too, that can top that. Keep them coming. There's the wheel. There it is. There's the Wheel of Fortune. Was ahead of myself. $1.2 million. That's in the corner at the Westgate. $5 a push. That's the one where the guy hit that across the street at the Golden Gate. That's the one where if you play like 5-10 hand, you can get a spin on the side as well. And you can hit the jackpot, which the guy did at Golden Gate. Remember, they said, sir, I think he's from the Midwest. You need anything? You want the penthouse? Nah, I'm good. Just pay me. I'm fine.
Were you eating when this popped?
I was going to dinner.
And it happened pretty much at the same time?
Yeah.
And you saw like a commotion, heard it, like what the hell's going on over here?
Very similar to the Palms.
Okay.
When I was at the Palms and walking by, and the gal had hit the Wheel of Fortune.
Was that for
36 cents were left in the machine? Yeah. She was going to McDonald's.
Right, yeah.
The only reason she played is because she had to wait for her burger. You never know what's going to happen in this town. And we got, there you go. Now, how about this? This is at the Orleans, I believe. This hit back-to-back days. Like Tammy, our friend, who did it at Red Rock, back-to-back days, the 7-card straight flush hit at Pygao. Wow. I mean, what are the odds are that? That's crazy. It didn't happen forever. It's happened once here. One time. And this whole property has been open for 4 or 5 years, whatever it is. This happened back-to-back days at the Orleans. Lose some, the Rockies, plus 275 to plus 230. No good. And they just lost again today, 4-3.
That was a tight one. Astros, I think, a little fortunate maybe to win that game.
Yeah. How about a couple of lose some videos? I mean, is this Super Mario Kart in real life? How fast are these people going? Be careful here with that turn. Ass over tea kettle. You better wear a helmet. As they're going on this track, And it's, I mean, this is out of control. There's got to be what waiver are you signing here when you sign up? Look at this. Maybe it's sped up too, but I mean, they are going hardcore here. I mean, there's trees, there's the stuff all in the middle of the road. Now you're going in a tunnel or something?
Half the cliffs don't even have like a shoulder or a guardrail.
Oh, my God.
They're flying over it?
Come on. This is great, too. The owner heard a disturbance, the human, like making a noise. And I don't know what happened here with a puppy is in the Coca-Cola box. Back and he can't get out.
Look at how small that fella is.
I know. How'd he get in and he can't get out now?
Oh, they have no idea.
He got all turned around.
Oh, I love that dog.
Isn't that something? Oh, yeah. He's stuck inside the 12-pack. He can't get out. Send that to me, Luke. I got to put that up during the break.
And he's
awesome.
like, is that food on top of my face right now?
Yeah. Well, you hear the whimpering. It's like, what's the dog up to? Is he got? Oh, he's stuck in he went through the 12-pack of Coke and he's stuck. Before the line moves, Sharp Play's already there. They don't just follow the market, they help move it. You're not going to outsmart billion-dollar books of full-time Sharps on your own with the Sharp Plays. You don't have to. Powered by advanced AI, plugged into trusted insider sources, Sharp Plays delivers the edge serious bettors use every day. Free reports, real-time alerts, market-moving insights sent straight to your inbox or X feed. Jeff and the crew have been doing it since 2011. Documented results, public logs, transparent receipts. SharpPlays.com. Trusted by pros, watched by the books. Visit SharpPlays.com and stay ahead of the line.
4.5 showing at DraftKings on Boise State now. Looks like 5s mostly across the board. Some 5.5s out there. Does it touch 4 is the question.
I think we're overreacting to the heat and humidity here.
Might be.
That's right.
And if we're not, then that means I think the total is going to go over as well. Getting a lot of points potentially here.
Yeah. Now, how about this? You're a Packer guy. Wisconsin. Several teams have spoken to the Cowboys about a Parsons trade. And according to reports, the Cowboys are listening. There was a report the Packers were offering a couple number ones.
Yeah, I heard a heart. Yeah.
26 years old. Wanted to be traded, which he issued his request on August 1st. Then you had him eating the nachos before the last preseason game, laying on the table. An Atlanta fan says, hey, can we get you? Come to the Falcons. He goes, come get me. And then this whole thing about Jerry said the agent told us to stick it when I sent the sheet to him as well. And he's not going to, quote, move off his mark, as he told Michael Irvin.
First of all, I will fall off my couch if the Green Bay Packers are the team that would eventually trade for him. This is something that they do not do, right? I mean, going back throughout their entire history, it has not happened, more than maybe a handful of times where they actually go after big free agents or they try to make a big trade for somebody. It's not their MO, and I would, if we could bet on this and they were like the favorites, I'd like a no price on that. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'd actually be happy as somebody who grew up in that state. And also, do you think Jerry Jones is really going to trade Micah Parsons? A guy who loves to have rock stars at his facility more than anything else. He doesn't even care about winning. He's made that abundantly clear.
Yes, he has.
Right?
I like the sizzle. The Cowboys.
Right, and part of that sizzle is having one of the best defensive players in the entire league on your team.
It'd be hilarious if they did it, too, because they're going to whiff on the draft picks.
I can tell you this. If Micah Parsons went to Green Bay, if the trade happens during our show, within 5 minutes, he's the most popular player on that team. Not even 5 seconds, probably. And the Green Bay fans, well, they are. It's a massive, obviously, community of fans across the country. His jersey sales would skyrocket to top 5 in the entire league.
Hear me out. You haven't seen the documentary yet?
I don't know if I'm going to watch it.
You have to watch it. It's great.
Paul, I hate the Dallas Cowboys.
So do I.
I hate them.
Yeah, but did you love the book by Jeff Pearlman, Boys Will Be Boys?
But I'm also...
Come on, the Michael Irvin episode is nuts.
Would you watch a documentary on the Chiefs if it was amazing?
Okay, and here,
I'm so tired of this team.
A big part of the documentary is the relationship with Jimmy Johnson, and it's who's taking credit for the Herschel Walker trade. It was Jimmy Johnson, but it still bothers Jerry that Jimmy would say it or point out. It's like, we're a team here. It's 50-50, whatever.
Yeah.
But this could be his Herschel Walker moment, though, about, hey, I did the trade. I get all the credit. We're not going anywhere. Let's trade Parsons and get a ton of picks, and I can do this, and it's me, all about me, and I'm calling the shots. As Dale Hansen, the legendary reporter, said to his face, name one team in the world of sports that would hire you to evaluate talent or do anything. There isn't one.
Right.
And it stings, Jerry, and he got mad at him. But it's true. But
well,
this
the truth hurts.
I know. But this is real, where it could be, I'm sick of Jimmy taking credit. We're a team. I had something to do with the Herschel Walker trade. This is my moment. I'm trading Parsons. I'm getting a ton of picks.
I mean, that defines the word petty. I mean, and holding a grudge still.
Well, yeah, wouldn't put him in a ring of honor for whatever.
He's got a serious problem.
Yeah.
Adam Rittenberg on the program next, ESPN. 4 Big Ten teams in action tonight, 3 of them favored by more than 2 touchdowns. Which big favorites